Hi. Okay. All right. Okay, let's start. Um, Morning. I don't have, as you can see now, I don't have my audio, my mic on. So bear with me. I'll try to speak clearly, enunciate. Um, so let's get started, and we'll use the block to open today. Again, if you don't have the block, it's okay. You don't need it. We're going to place it beneath our sacrum. So let's just get ourselves, so feet towards me or towards the front of your space. Just settle the body down. Bring the feet in where you feel them comfortably placed, that you can get full purchase on the pinky side, the big toe side, the toes themselves, the pads of the toes and the heel. And then just press in there, lift up the hips gently, just high enough that you can slide. If you're using your block, slide the block beneath on its lowest height. Then I suggest, it just feels way better. Press in the back of the head and just lift the upper back from the mat and actively sort of draw the shoulder blades towards your hips, a little bit down away from the back of your head, and then replace. And we're just going to bring the arms down by the sides, palms facing up. And that will just enhance the opening across the chest, by the collarbones and the front of the shoulders. And again, closing the eyes and just take a little time to find your own sort of place here, the some shape, slightly elevated at the hips. So it's a very, very, very gentle inversion. The heart is just very slightly above the head. And just feel the weight of the hips sink into the block, into the ground. Feel the backs of the arms settle. Palms themselves just soften in towards the bones of the hands, and the fingers will just curl naturally. I'm just going to take a couple of breaths here. I'm just taking this pause to really deliberately create the space for our practice. It's only 60 minutes, so we sort of uncloak the morning, set it aside, and just give undivided, deliberate focus in internally, just playing around with that yoke here. I just want to perhaps taking another breath or two to just really feel the ground supporting us. Feel what it's like to have the back of the lungs breathing into the ground, the front, breathing up, expanding the rib cage everywhere. Okay, so let's just ease into the deep, deep, deep muscles on the abdomen, the psoas, the pairings. We'll just take one leg and then the other down and soften at the ankles. So this really, don't be very mindful of the lower back. If it's pinching, then you need to adjust your block or come off it altogether. And then just let the legs fall out as they want to do. Take a moment to move. The breath will gently sort of move down into the lower belly, in between the hip points. Just let that happen. Focus a little bit of creating space in the front of the hips where the legs enter the hips. Just another, it's just going to be more noticeable on the inhalation. Okay, and then slide the legs back. So you feel the legs turn in the hips themselves, plant the feet down, take the hips from the block and just slide the block out. Bring the hips back down. Take the left leg to the left corner of the mat and stretch the right one to cross the left at the ankle, or just bring it to kiss the left ankle. So side by side. Either one. Lift up the upper back and just scooch it over to the upper left. And doing the same here. So creating a sort of banana or a sort of fingernail movement, sort of stretch, taking hold of the right elbow, the right wrist with the palm of the left hand. And deliberately creating more and more space as we breathe into the body. And just anchor the right side of the body down as we let the breath out of the body. Just another one, stretching it up. Again, you can make it as strong or as gentle as it feels good, really. It's just a wonderful way of really creating space. Well supine, letting the ground beneath us support. And then let go of the tension, uncross, and create that same shape on the other side. Right leg, left leg. Just be really mindful of keeping the left, on this side, the left hip and bottom rooted into the ground. Upper back curls up, just places over and start to create this shape on the other side deliberately. Opening up maybe the breathing muscles on the left ribs. Create length on that inhalation. And then come back to center, undoing, bringing the legs now back to constructive rest. Soles of the feet are on the floor just like they were, but we don't have the block anymore. All right, we're going to slowly notice the lower back, press the lower back into the mat, squeeze the belly into the lower back. Try not to pinch your bum cheeks together, okay? Just press that part of the spine down. Feel what it's like, flipping the arms, both of them, if they haven't already. Flip them over so the palms face down. And now really find the mat with the back of the upper shoulders. You probably feel stretch in the upper chest. Good. Keep this root through the lower back and just bring both legs forward. Keep calves to hamstrings. And then take the hands from the mat and bring them to the shins and slowly squeeze these thighs in towards the ribs or the side body, whatever kind of feels better. Rocking a little bit side to side, maybe forward or back. So you find what feels good. You might want to find the kidneys a little bit more, doing little half moon shapes. Good. And then start to bring energy to those ankles. Flex them so the toes look to the ceiling. Nose comes towards the knees, and now we let go of the knees. We find the ankles or the feet. We squeeze them. Feel the upper back, release. Chin tucked in, neck, the back of the neck is long, and this little cannonball shape. Squeeze now, maybe activate a little more by pressing into the palms. If you're holding your feet, pulling back, really creating that space in the upper back of the neck, and then let go. Hands just float to your hamstrings. Let go of that strong energy in the ankles for a moment, and then we'll just lift the shins so you no longer are the shins and calves touching, because we're going to start our spinal rolls. Try not to snap the legs, just let it happen slowly. Lower back, just not to the neck, okay? It'll take a few times. It doesn't matter if it feels good, just take the massage, pressing the lower back in, rolling back up, and eventually coming to a seat. So if you want to perch, that'll make it easier for the hips. Otherwise, just cross your ankles for a moment. Cross your legs, and we'll take the arms, both of them, up by the out of the hips, right up. Stretch skyward from ground up. Remember now, what's our seat? It's through the sitting bones. Take a moment to focus on the diaphragm. So this space sort of here, and just gently ease it in towards the body. We tend to overdo and overstretch here by lifting the arms up. Good. We'll take the arms down to shoulder height as the arms, both of them, face the ground. And then we're going to bring the right arm under the left. So over, right under the left, spiral the arms, palm face one another, elbows up and hands away from the face. Again, back to the hands can touch if that's a little easier. Just take a moment to really focus on this upper back, the lift from pubic bone to navel and navel to diaphragm, and then feel it fan out across the upper chest. Just these eagle arms. And soften. Now you're going to take that left arm and straighten it into the body, and the right arm kind of tucks in to encourage this left arm to ease across the chest, and then slowly show the left shoulder cap. We sort of twist, maybe even easing the chin towards the left shoulder as we take this seated bound twist. Take it as gently or as deeply as feels good. Just making sure that we keep visiting and we stay really connected with the movement of the breath, so we don't feel pulling and stagnant and hard in it. Want to still feel nice and tall, and then let go slowly, come back to center. Undo that, arms, reach them back up. And take the left arm under the right. Bind them. Find your eagle arms that suits the openness in the upper back. So here you can see when we're bound, we might have a tendency to sort of ease away from that bind. Try to keep noticing that the upper chest is moving towards the spiraled arms as we breathe in. Just take time. I really love this. Maybe notice the waist. You feel kind of saggy there. Lift up. Find the little shadowy parts. And then let go of the bind. Take that right arm and stretch it out across the upper chest, sort of using the left arm as a sort of a external leverage. Like that. So you'll first move into the side of your right shoulder and then begin to open it towards the center, taking a bound seated twist, maybe taking the chin over towards that right shoulder, just keeping ease in the under chin though, right? And just feel the sides of the body lengthening up. Just stay present in all the little dark spots. And then undo. Take the arms, unwind them, bring them down now and find the mat in table. Just take up some space, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. I'm gonna take a moment to press the ground away, develop this strength. So my shirt's kind of falling down, but really pull the belly up. And let's notice the shoulder blades and where they are next to the spine. So play around with this. Let the shoulder blades collapse over the spine without leading the chin, okay? This is a wonderful opportunity to develop and foster this proprioceptive awareness of how the chin doesn't move our practice. It's the heart, right? So the chin stays intact. Think of that feather-light little soft, downy ball underneath the chin. Keep it there as we just lower and raise up, feeling the movement of the shoulder blades beneath the skin in the upper back. Push the ground away, push it away, sink down. Try not to leave with the chin. Yeah. And then come back to neutral where you don't feel over pushed or over collapsed. And we're just going to tent these fingers to develop a little more strength through the forearms. So finger pads. I think you could hold a cupcake under there, pull the belly in, and let's lift the shins right to the tops of the feet off the mat. Try to keep strong to the hands and the wrists and the forearms. Bring the shins back down, put the palms back down. Turn the toes right under and lift the knees from the mat. So now bringing the shins parallel to the mat. The palms are face down. The gaze is soft. Just tap the knees down, really stretching out the Achilles and pull them back up. So the shins are parallel to the ground. Just do these. Tap and lift. Tiny movement. Keep the belly engaged. Tap. So I'm just bringing conditioning to these. I mean, these are classic yoga postures, and I'm just adding this heat element, the flow element as we move with it, developing a little bit of ability to stay connected while moving, which I kind of like. Okay, keep doing that with me. Now, the next time that you come up, stay up here balancing, really plug the belly in, support the spine. Start to put more pressure in the ball of the left foot and take the right leg straight out from the hips. Spread the toes. Left shin is from the mat. You know, if it's too much, bring the left shin down to the mat. Right leg extended. Okay. Bring the right leg back and the knees down. Get out of the wrists by just sending the hips towards the heels. And let go of the tension in the back of the neck by just lowering the gaze a little bit here. Don't rush it. Come back up. Plug the belly up. Support the spine. You'll feel this support in the lower back. And then lift these legs, shins. Let's dip and lower and dip, up. Both going at the same time. Feel complete stillness where the lungs and the heart are resting. Engaged. You feel fire in your thighs, strong in your core. Good. Stay up there. This time, the next time, stay up. Put the pressure in the ball of the right foot and the undertoes and spread this left leg straight back. Support it. Breathe. That's it. You don't have to look. It's not complicated. You feel your body. Chest is nice and neutral and even. Hips are square, neutral, strong, balance, and leg. Left leg comes back. Put the toes down and then the knees. Get out of the wrists. Come back. You can keep the arms straight or kind of bend them, whatever kind of feels better. Okay. Come up. Keep the toes curled under as we take the left leg straight out to the side and plant it right to the pinky side of the left foot. Okay, and we'll lift the sitting bones up a little bit until you feel a little bit of feedback on the inside of that left leg. Now, again, visit the front of the body, pubic bone, navel, navel to diaphragm. Feel that all on one plane, and then send the hips back towards that left heel while keeping the right foot, or to the right heel, keeping the left foot glued to the mat. Maybe forearms can come down, but don't overdo. This is a lot. If you have no connection with it, chances are you're rounding the lower back. So just really keep that lower back in its natural curve and really reach up through the sitting bones. Try to find that depth. Stretching out the right foot as we do it. Come back up. Now, take this left leg, bring it in, stretch it back out for a moment, and then bring it over to the right side. Look over at the inner ankle, stretch out the left waist, right, the leading muscles, and then lift the right knee from the mat and find even purchase through both sides. Plug the left ribs in, all these things. Just feel we're really moving into all the areas. Put that knee back down, soften the left leg, come back. Now the wrists for a moment. Don't rush it. Let's come back up. Right leg out, plant. And this is a lovely sensation as we start to find the root through the right foot. Pinky side, I really mean pinky side. And then tilt the sitting bones up. Feel the feedback on the inside of that right leg, the adductors. And then start to move with that intensity back towards the left heel. See how that feels? Refine it. We always have that sort of the tell, the little part that will give up so that we don't need to find the depth. So we need to be on it. We don't want to go past it, but we want to keep active. Reach, 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 reach. And then come back up. Take the right leg, bring it in, stretch it right back out, evening the leg in the socket first, and then we'll go over to the left side, find the mat. Find the gaze, just looking over towards the inner ankle. Bring it back to neutral and lift the left shin from the mat and find that balance. So press through the right heel, lift the left shin, even out the hips, find out the rich deepness in the right hip, the left hip, the chest, the arms are strong, and the knee comes down. Come back, finally, release the ankles and come out of those wrists. And then from here, stretch these arms forward in the foundation. We're going to go into downward dog. So if you like to do that, slowly do that. Shifting the weight forward, engaging the core, toes under, pedaling it back. Find that inversion. And then once we do, really sort of spread the arms away. Be very present in all parts, the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands, the sides of the body, where the organs are. And then let's float to a high plank. Just find that strength, connect, reach crown forward, fire up the thighs, open the backs of the legs. If the legs were going to roll anywhere, they're going to fold inwards, not outwards. So think of a slight pigeon toe. Hold the belly up. Now, let's bring both knees down to the mat and release the left foot. So the top of the foot sees the mat. Bring the right foot, I sound like Bugs Bunny. The right foot comes forward. And now I know I need a little more length. I thought I would have it, but I don't. So I'm going to just turn the toe under and scooch my left leg back until I get what I know is going to be enough for this crescent lunge. Come back, bring that knee well behind the heel to start with. And let's just cradle our hips and elbows back. So we really can stay connected with what's happening in the pelvic bowl as we just offer this first gentle release for the front of the hips, right here, primarily left hip. Take the right hand, cradle your right hip, your bottom, and just ease the whole set kind of down towards the ground and in a little bit. Try that. Wait for it. Now let's root top of our foot, the right shin, so we're not taking it on the knee. Take the hands, bring them, interlace them in front of the heart, just gently, and flip them, and then stretch them out. But try to keep the shoulder blades kind of contacting the spine so you don't feel that you've overreached and you're doing such like this. Bring it back, reach and open the palms. And slowly bring them up. Try to just feel this lengthening from the waist. You may find you need to stop before they come to kind of the ears. That's fine. And then feel connected from the wrists all the way down to the hips. And maybe open the heart a little bit more. Maybe gently. Just be very careful with the neck. And then plug the belly in to rewrite ourselves. Let go of the mudra up there. Bring the right hand to the right thigh. Left hand down to the floor. Take the toes under that back leg and really press into the heel. Right hip back. Wait for it. And then begin the revolutions inwards. So the right hand is just gently pressing down and keeping that right knee in. And we're just going to travel, opening navel towards the inside of the leg. Firing up that back leg and maybe finishing with this twist. Lengthening the neck. One more big breath through all those points. 5, crown being the 5th. Lower this right hand back, and that gives us our cue to turn the back foot 45 and find the full mat, or the full foot on the mat. We're going to spiral up with straight legs to that right one, all the way forward with the left hand, up, 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 and open both arms out from the shoulders, legs stretch down. Bring them up now to cactus arms. So really feel shoulder blades doing the work. Bend that right knee. Keep the gaze over the heart line. Palms facing the long side of your mat. Nice. Beautiful, New York, yes. Arms going to come straight to look at each other and straight out of the hip. Straight out. Let's keep the gaze as it is as we start to create this variation of the extended side and the Parsvarthanasana. So press that right heel down into the mat. You'll feel much more power as we just tilt. Once we tilt, keep spiraling open the top side of the body. Open it, create a nice full open shape. Long in that bottom waist. Rooted to that right heel. Watch that right knee. Everybody really, if anything, just default to easing it away from that groin. Good. Bring the right hand down to the thigh in mid-flight. Left one reaches from where we came, closes up and plants. The right one finds the mat on the other side of the foot. And just gently soften the crown towards the floor. Plug the belly up, round the back. Mm-hmm. Pivot so the toes of the back foot look forward. And take it to downward dog. Floating into this high plank and connecting the under chin, mirroring that spine all the way up. Fully present. Knees down. Left leg comes through. I'm going to take the right leg back a little bit. So this is where we are also unique. So find what works. There's no cookie cutter shape for us. We're just sort of practicing through. Back away. I really suggest this instead of coming into the depth of this posture like already forward, because what happens if it's too much, you'll end up presenting like this. Something has to give, and it'll be something in your lower back or your chest. So if we come away from the intensity, then we can guide it more slowly and just see where we need to stop to breathe in more fullness. Again, taking the hands maybe at the hips, just as a variation to start. Elbows back. Again, being curious. Being curious, internally focused. Maybe the hands can come down, just easing the right hip just up a bit and the left hip down. And then interlace them, palms will face in. Then they flip out. And now I'm stretched out of the center between the shoulder blades. Feel that. And then go down to the hips. So feel the pelvis and the waists on both sides, or the waist on both sides. Start to lift the arms and stop when you exhale. So you really feel that we're honoring the shape. So stop where we need to, fill it in, color it in. And then here, if it's accessible, maybe a little bit of heart opener. Everything should feel good. Plug the belly in, supporting the spine as we come back, letting go. Left hand to the thigh, supporting right hand down, toes under and lift. Now, really strong, wide-legged. Start to open up. So the navel and the heart line at the inside of your left thigh. Imagine there is a strong weight or a deep magnetic attraction, say, of the big toe side of your left foot to the ground. Velcro, whatever works. Keep that plugged as we spiral away from it. Adding the arm extension, if feels good, and then filling it in, really opening up the channel. Palm to sky, ground to sky, cross the lungs and the heart. Okay. Hands coming down. I'm just going to switch sides. Sweep up. We're straightening that front leg all the way up and stretching out. Come up, step forward. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Elbows bend, forearms come sort of parallel to one another, shoulder height. Gaze is over the heart line and just slowly ease that bend in the left leg. And every time that we exhale depth, we inhale and fill it in. So we may not keep moving, right? It might be enough to stay for a few breaths somewhere that feels rich and responsive and nice. And if you want to really get that knee over the ankle, that front knee, then you can always shorten the stance with the back leg if it feels better, because that will make it a little more accessible. Before moving, bring that internal gaze to the tops of the shoulders. I'd like you to feel the tops of shoulder caps. There's the easing away. Okay, they're not creeping towards the neck. With that in mind or in sense, straighten these arms above. Just elongating the lines even stronger from hip to sky. And start the hinge, stopping where we need to. Refining, opening, rooting and grounding. Make it real good. Okay, the top arm's gonna fly back. Find the mat, so some nice shoulder work there. Reach down to the ground with the other hand. Let go. Really notice the softness in the throat as we let the crown move down. The right side of the body, dome up. Turn the toes of the back foot so they look forward and find your downward dog. Just finding that symmetrical, beautiful inversion. And let's just flow it out here. Come to plank. Knees down, stretching out the feet. Plug the hips towards the heels. Soften in line with the arms. Inhaling back to plank. Just find that flow. Invoke that wave-like action, downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale down. Just smoothing out any rough edges. Coming back to plank. Taking the downward dog. Remember, being in a flow, you may indeed not do the deepest shape. That's part of the joy. We don't have to overachieve. Let's step up to the top of the mat. Keep the feet comfortably placed. Bend at the knees and drape the spine. Soften the neck through the head dangles. And this is a wonderful opportunity to feel the opposite of what I was mentioning earlier with the shoulders reaching away from the neck. Feel them soften now in towards the neck. What does that feel like? Just breathe here. And then come a little higher. So we're dangling. So our belly's not really resting on the thighs. The hands kind of dangle. And we're just going to straighten the right leg. Don't try to be very gentle. Don't lock the knee. I mean, just endeavor to reach some length to that right leg, keeping the left one bent. And then alternate sides. Do it to the other side. Maybe it feels different. And again, feel that shifting of the weight distribution. Again. And then begin your roll up on inhalations. Stop progressing up as we exhale. Just find the root to the feet. Take as many breaths as you need because you're just going to stand in Tadasana, so there's no rush. Now, without looking sort of at yourself, or you can even bring your hands. So like I'm just drifting around my side body with my palms and you feel where they are. Note that. Okay, let's take the right shoulder and we're going to move, tuck it forward. And we're going to bring that right shoulder up towards our neck and our earlobe. And we're going to bring that, feel like you're moving really deeply in the shoulder socket and then back, ratchet it back and bring it down. And tell me, do it only once and slowly if you can. I don't know if you can see it on me here, but see my left arm is forward and my right arm is where it should be. Let's do the same with the left. Forward. It's quite a lot of work. Really feel like you're tracing the inside of your shoulder joint. Oh, and down. Plug the belly in. Find your feet, lift the toes. Take a moment to just be aware of our connection to the earth. We so rarely, that's why, rarely are aware. Just feel the weight shifting. Okay. So we're going to do this little standing pose flow by bringing the feet together. And again, keeping with that theme from the ground up, feel the ground. Now we've narrowed our foundation. Okay. Inhale the arms to wherever you're comfortable above your body. You can bring them together if you feel so. And then exhale back down to the foundation, just lengthening the waist. Inhale, lift the heels. Way high. Turn those legs in. Exhale, find the mat with the feet and swan dive over the legs into a half stand. Good. Inhale, bend the knees. We come into a variation of Utkatasana, lifting the arms to shoulder height. Exhale, right hand to left and the left hand to the sacrum. Inhale, lengthen, release the toe, cramping, and then exhale, gently twist, send those hips back. Let go, slowly come back, bring the hands to the hips. Good. Bring the arms up and to the other side, left hand, and then the right hand to the sacrum. Keep squared off, take the twist. Come back, neutral chest, neutral hips. Send it back through the arms towards the ground behind you. Inhale the arms. Exhale, standing half forward fold. Inhale, sweep, open the arms, shoulder height, palms face the ceiling. Exhaling them to the back of the hips. Inhale the chest, broaden it up. Exhale, feel the feet root down, let the hands come down. Inhaling up. And come way high on the heels, high, high, high. Exhale, find the mat, hinge and sweep, moving around you. Keep the weight evenly rooted through the feet. Try not just to feel the heels. And then Uttanasana. Right hand and then the left hand to the sacrum. Take that breath up. Find your footing. Really make it rich. No rushing. Inhale, hands drift to the hips. Just finding the elbows again. Find that root through evenly through the feet. Bring the hands up. Lift the chest. Lots going on. Press through the heels and then find it again. Hands back, reach towards the back of the mat, creating big, broad shoulders. Only the arms reach up, shoulder height, both arms away, and swan dive, half stand. Fire up those thighs. Inhale, arms to shoulder height, really thumbs behind. Press the inner feet down and find the back of the hips. Lift and rise the chest. Now feel the ground. So we're not moving the ground. So feel every time we're going to do one more of these. I just feel the enhanced connection grounded. So here we can move and flow, but we're always connected. It's fantastic. Inhaling up. Again, wherever the arms feel good to go. Swan dive over these strong legs, finding that fulcrum. Bend and spread the hips. Find that strong variation on Uttanasana. And then right hand to left, left hand to sacrum. Come back up, just finding the hips, reaching down, being mindful of connecting down here. Yeah. Up with the arms, plug the belly in, try not to arch the back, okay? You want to have a nice neutral spine, take that. Finish. Find the hips. Find that lift. And arms away. Swan dive over the legs. Feel the back of the legs liven up. Inhale, reach for the sides of the room. Strong to the upper back. See, everything's moving. And find the back of the hips. Finally, lift and expose the upper chest. That's it. And find neutral. We'll just bring one hand to the chest and the other one. Chin comes down. Just soften for a moment. I just found my microphone tip in my shirt as I did that. I think I'll take that out. I don't need that since we're not using it. So we're at the top of that. We'll finish our standing poses from here. But you may want, we're going to do a little bit in flight. So you, of course, can choose to not prop. But if you'd like to prop, then you're going to want to put your block on the tall height at the top of your mat, give or take. You're going to have to move it. So standing here, let's take the feet a little bit farther apart than they were. So a nice foundation. We'll put the hands on the hips. Just be mindful of where these hips are, where we're moving from. Okay? We're not moving from the chest, we're moving from the hips. So I'm going to take the left leg back and open it for Trikonasana. So slightly less long than you did for your warrior sequence. Note that back hip slightly forward, bringing ease. This should feel ease, the inside crease in your right leg, and primarily here should feel ease. Don't feel, if you're not, find it. That means you press the right heel down, pivot it in. Okay. Let's take the hinge first with the hands present at the hip points, inviting some openness across the top side of the body, length to both sides of the neck. And then bring palms to the heart. Reach down the feet, both of them. Look down at the toes of your right foot and come back up. Release the hands out from the shoulders and we'll just open both of the arms skyward. Just don't do it too super fast. We're just going to wait for a moment. And when you're doing it on your own, you take a little longer and just take a gentle side opener, okay? But keep that left arm facing the ceiling this time. And then just up. and then down. And this is where you decide, okay, blocking it. You're gonna reach for the block. We're doing balancing half moon with my lovely trusty desk here. And just really staying present. What we just did in Trikonasana, that's all we're doing here too, is expanding the top side of the body in a balance. If you don't want the block, doesn't matter. Just enjoy the ride, enjoy the process. Come out safely. So I'd suggest bending the front leg to find the mat, and then just simply close off the hips and step forward. Just making sure the gaze point is soft and continuing on the other side. So right leg back. Hips hinge. Feel that release around the top of that left leg. Yes. And some of you are using the wall, which is fantastic support to create a really nice, broad, open, strong, healthy shape. Bring the hands to the heart. Start to create. Start to look up. Sure that left knee is comfortable. Yes. Beautiful. Down at the toes, your left foot. Come up, open the arms, and spiral them. No rushing. And sweep up, open that side. That. And find your prop if you'd like to use it, or go propless. Yes, just trust. Doesn't matter if you fall. Right? Yeah. And then find the mat. Reach and slowly progress back to the front of your mat. And we'll just open our feet duck-footed, okay? And let's all come down, bringing, I think all of us can bring our hips to the knee height. Okay? Don't go lower. Palms, let's slide them to the insides of both of the knees. You can straighten them in a bit, but first, hands slide down, just have them resting there. Now let's visit our feet. Really feel them grow into that root down. Feel the power, and then it'll translate to the hips as we sink a little bit more. Now, you could keep the hands like this. The only thing is I find that perpetuates sort of a closing up of my upper chest. So I kind of like this presentation where we flip the hands open. The arms can be straight. We're involving our arm strength too, our chest, upper back. Just don't sink any deeper in it. Just refine the shape. Visit every little corner. Maybe it's tummy. If you feel feedback in your lower back, dollars to donuts, your tummy is not doing anything and you're kind of sagging. Don't sag. Resist the sag, but create really rich, deeply hewed shape, okay? Whatever that is, it might be higher, it might not look, well, none of us are going to look the same. It's about feeling really present and everything radiating. Yeah, beautiful, deep hues, okay? And then you'll have to come up a little bit just to ease the hips. And when you do, bring the feet together and then just simply find the mat. This may not be super elegant. Find the mat down. Take the feet ahead. Wrap the arms, soften the chin, and really just sag back. Mm-hmm. And they're crossing the legs. If you want to perch, you can perch a little bit. Bring the hands to the knees. Develop a nice long body up and open. Start to drop the hands to the floor, looking over, or the spine, drawing the spine over that left thigh. And just be sure we haven't overdone in the right waist, okay? Just is it. And then really rooting down the right sitting bone, start to lean over. You're soaking up that rich stretch along the right side of the body, straight arms or forearms down. Right, it's asymmetrical. The physical response will be different. Asymmetrical, asymmetrical. Prop back up out of that, back to center. Sense that everything just gets rejuiced, and we'll go over to the right thigh. So the hands are here because you can imagine, try doing it without that support of the handstand, you probably float around like this. So be gentle. These hands, this external leverage offers the sort of gas pedal, the depth. Be mindful of that. Don't overdo. Wait to get the signal that it's okay to move more deeply or to back away or to simply be okay where you are. Come back up. Back to center. I'm just going to uncross the legs and find the mat with the feet. Hands, come back. I'm going to do reverse table. So knees over ankles, hips up, reach long to the crown. I'm going to develop a big, broad opening. Bring your bottom closer to the hands. You may come up on the heels for cross, and we're going to find the mat with our forearms. So just peel the hands, bring them forward, forearms down. Again, coming into this forearm press just to send this energy all the way through the tapestry. Now bring the knees down and the hips down. We'll just roll over onto our right side, developing that same posture and that sense of connection now along the right side of the body. So the trick is to really reach down the insides of both legs, let that left hand support. Maybe take hold of the left ribs and just invite them to open instead of sink. Right? And it doesn't matter if you end up like this, that's the same thing. What a great place to really work on this feeling of expansion through the ribs, the upper chest, the upper back. Thumbs down, we're going to go forward, just don't collapse, and we'll go to the other side. Again, left elbow beneath the left shoulder, ankles are strong. Lift, reach down the inner leg, extend the arm up if it feels okay. Find that float. And then down, this time stay down. Put the palm in the palm, elbows out, forehead on the back of the hands, and just rest here as we unzip the body. Just really feel the sense of release from the back of the neck, sort of right with the back of the head. And very slowly as we breathe all the way down past the sacrum, down the legs, to both of the heels. And just gently rock, soothing the hips. Now we're just going to go, we did side, tummy, core strength. Let's just finish with this back strength. So start to bring the heels in line with the legs, fire up your thighs. Probably felt the kneecaps leave. That's a good sign. Pubic bone down. Head away from the hands, hands in that cactus shape. Squeezing. Flip the arms down the body, so palms face up, thumbs on the inside. Just Reach up. Don't go for height, go for length. Reach down the legs, breathing. Feel the radiating heat in the lower back primarily. Work at the shoulder blades, the upper back. Now a couple of breaths here. Woo-wee. But when we release, try to keep the hips, the chest high until we bring the hands now beneath the shoulders. And then that's the cue to soften down, offer the forehead at the hairline so we get some benefit in the back of the neck. Notice what it feels like to close up the throat without tension. And then press the hips down one more time, reach the legs strongly down and take the cobra. And finding the depth on successive inhalations or just stay with the shape. Thumb and first finger are really strong. And up, lying downward dog. One last time. Step through. And just put that block, your prop sort of by mid section. Thumbs on the inside, fingers on the outside, just come to the forearms, but try to bring them in line with your arms so they're not outside of your body. So they're almost kind of beneath you. A moment to tilt the hips up and down so you don't feel it. If you feel pressure on those thumb points, it's a sure sign you've dropped into your lower back. So try to find that yourself. Once you find that sense of equilibrium through the front and the back of your pelvis, keep it there by plugging in there very strong, and then bring the legs together and bring the shins parallel to the floor. Lovely variation on both. I kind of like it more because I think we're really able to, work the nuances of it a little bit more. Let's straighten the legs if it's okay, otherwise keep them bent. With the legs straight and the spine strongly supported by the front, the back, and the sides, we take the left leg half to the floor. Again, if you're feeling this in the lower back, stop and reclaim the strength in the front body, okay? Bring the legs back up on the other side. Now, just as a note to self, any balancing or strong postures, especially the big ones, big wide ones, especially balancing, bring the legs up, bend them so equal half. Always visit the chewing surfaces of your teeth. You'd be surprised how the tension starts to build in this part of the body, in the face and the jaw primarily, and it's quite easy to recognize, and it starts to become second nature to just visit all these areas. And okay, bring the legs all the way down to the mat and soften the knees outward. Still hands are where they were. Just take a moment now. Stop that work. And then, so I place the lower back, get the shoulder blades from pinching the spine, just like we did before at the opening. We've come back full circle. We will in a second. Bring the hands in for a moment. And let the weight of the legs create a little bit more space in the hips. And since we're already on our back, this is a lovely point in the practice that you might want to visit the area here, so the forehead, the eyes themselves. Just maybe you can close them because there's nothing technical anymore. If you feel comfortable, close them and just easing our way. These final postures of restoration. So closing the legs up, finding a little bit of distance between them. So again, we're comfortable. And this is just do this slowly. I can't say enough. Just peel that back from the spine. Slide that prop beneath your hips one more time. Let the hips sink onto the block. Let the arms fall to the side. Open them up. And just take them away so you don't feel any pinching. And this is just observation. So here's the posture or the shape that began our practice. How does it feel? Mm. If you're really enjoy that stretching of your hips out for the psoas, then you can do that from here. Otherwise, it might be a little bit much for some of us. So I was just going to invite just a couple of breaths in this. Lifted the hips, sort of the legs up the wall, putting the legs to a spot that they can just balance untroubled by gravity. Feel the rich, oh, reversal of that flow, fluid. But I mean, it's interesting, observationally, not theoretically, not intellectually interesting. Just feel the shape. Whatever comes to you, I always think of like an onion or my garlic plants. When I say ground to air, right here, we're usually spending our most of our time with our feet doing the rooting. And our crown being the vada, the skyward end. So it's so interestingly, richly wonderful. I hope you kind of feel it sometimes, the difference of having the legs in the air. Whatever imagery works for you, let it flow. Just imagine, sense the sunshine on the soles of your feet. Warmth in the back of the head, in the back of the heart and lungs as you sink into the earth. Slowly, we'll bring the legs down. You don't have to do it right now. You can do it at your own pace, right? Just taking your block out slowly, making your way into Shavasana or the shape that you'd like to seal the practice with. Just one that offers complete release, really, and just this space to integrate our flow, integrate our practice, rejuvenate. So to become more and more familiar with being okay with the stillness, which we know as we are so fluid bodies, never really, but the stillness, perception of stillness. very gently drift our awareness to basically our sternum, our heart center, this area of our vessel. Sense this sort of just something warm, something golden, radiating its life force as we breathe, and just have the sense that on each and every inhalation that we're coming back to, golden orb just radiates and pulses wider and wider throughout our whole physical being, increasing the space around us. Warmth, health, and ease. Just moving the fingers and the toes, and feel it's the right time to move. Come to your side and just very gently rest there. Supporting yourself up to sitting. Again, when you feel ready to move or called to move. Sense or knownness, sense of gratitude as we bring our palms in towards the heart. The offering. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here today.